Hey folks, old Bart Wilson and Sweetie Pie here today. It's Sunday, June what day is it?
12.
12th. See, I don't even know what day it is. Flossie works me so damn hard, I don't even know what day it is anymore. But anyway, we here today. We're going to work on our Sunday Funday project a little bit. But I got to talk to you folks. I got to talk to you. I have been put on restriction from the shop. I got boo-boos. I got boo-boos. Almost had a little accident today in the shop.
No, you had like a total accident today in the shop.
Not really. But what happened was, let me say this. Now, we was outside this morning. She was planting some flowers, and I had done some little project for the back patio. And I went to the shop to do a little project I wanted to do, and I was out there. And it was warm this morning. It was pretty warm. And I was out there, been out there a little while, probably hot, getting a little tired, and I got in a hurry. And you know what happens when you get in a hurry? You get careless. Well, I went to cut a board on the miter saw, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. And I had cut a piece, and I went to cut it again, but I didn't clear my table on the miter saw. I left it laying on there. So when I brought the blade down, it caught the piece that was sitting there and it flung it. Well, when it flung it, it mashed this finger between the table and the board, and it blew the end of my thumb out. It's a little sore, it's gonna be sore. And then it done the same to this finger right here. Thank God that's all it was. Thank God it didn't do no more damage than that. But my point is, folks, it's easy to do. We're all guilty of it. We get in a hurry, we get careless. So when you're in the shop like that, please be careful and pay attention to what you're doing. Because old Bart Wilson didn't. I got kind of stupid there for a minute. So, like I said, luckily it didn't. All it was a couple little mashed fingers, and that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be sore for a few days, and we're gonna try our best to get through this carving today. But anyway, like I said, y'all please be careful out there in the shop. So with all that happening, I come out, my fingers was bleeding and all that, and wrapped up paper towels. Flossie put me on restriction. I can't operate any high-speed cutting machinery for 2 weeks. I'm on 2 weeks restriction. So that means no miter saw, no table saw. I can run the band saw, and I can run the drill press. That's it.
I don't know.
Can't run nothing else.
I don't
No
know.
skill saw. Can't run anything high speed. I can't run. But anyway, enough of that. I'm just saying, y'all please be careful and pay attention to what you're doing when you're out in the shop, especially with it being hot like it is. If you're hot and sweated down, maybe you need to stop and get you a cool drink. You know, whether it be leaded or unleaded, you know, even at that, be careful with that. So, but anyway, just take your time and do what you can. So anyway, we're gonna work on this today. So here's our project for those of y'all that are coming. So everything's pretty well there now, and we're kind of ready to start laying in some detail. But today, we are gonna do a little bit on these arms, and we're going to start working on this head and getting that head to what we want to do. Now, I had a conversation the other day in a private message from a fella. We all see him around Facebook and all, and Chucky Ducky. And Chucky Ducky made a comment that he was going to do his with a bandana and a big mustache. And I kind of got to thinking about that, and I'm like, you know, I hadn't really tried that a whole lot. So we're going to try it on this one. But I want to do a bandana and a whole bunch of hair, big old bushy hair, and you know, we'll see how it works out. So we're going to start kind of molding that head a little bit, getting it kind of formed to fit what I'm thinking in the old brain matter here. like I said, sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. We may have to change and do something different. But anyway, that's how we're gonna go. So anyway, we're gonna get started here. And the first thing I'm gonna do, let me get my stuff on here, y'all. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Me and Flossie have. There we go. We had to go help my dad yesterday for one last time, and we ran a couple of errands, come home, and so anyway. All right, the knife I'm using today is the one I used last week, 2-inch rough out blade, and the handle I made that looks like Marv Kaisersat's handle. So we're just gonna use it again today. Oh, I need my glasses. Hold on. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do before we move up here to his head is these arms. I'm going to knock these edges off these arms. Now, I don't do a whole lot with arms. I just kind of knock the sharp edges off and just kind of let them lay. I don't really go in there and do a lot of rounding and all that. I kind of leave some of the flatness to them and all, and I don't. So basically all I do to the arms is I come in here and I kind of, the hand part I kind of leave alone. I know we hadn't designated that, but I kind of catch it like right behind the hand, and I ain't gonna be able to push with that thumb because that's a little sore. But anyway, we just knock that off right there. Knock them corners off. And then I come in here right in the middle. Can you see that all right, Flossie?
Mm-hmm.
Get that little deeper back up under that. Alright. Can you see that pretty good how I just knocked them? See how I just knocked the sharp edges off? Alright, now right here in this bicep area, I come in there and I just do a scoop and kind of thin it, and then I kind of knock that edge off a little bit more so it looks like that from the back. Can you see that pretty good? Alright, so then we're going to come over here on the other side and do the same thing. Like that. So that's pretty much all I do to the arms for right now. I don't, like I said, I don't do a lot of I'm just cleaning up some. I don't do a lot of detail on the arms. We'll come back and do a little bit. So his hands, his shirt sleeve. Now I'm not going to draw a shirt sleeve on this because I'm going to wait and see how I do on his head, because if my head comes out what I'm thinking in my brain, then his clothes is going to kind of change, because I think I'm going to kind of make like a biker looking dude kind of dude, and maybe have a wife beater and some blue jeans and some black boots and all that. So, but that's why I'm going to leave the body cleaned up right there a little bit. That needs to be cleaned up under that hand a little bit. All right. So now with this head, we're gonna move off them arms. We're gonna leave them. But like I said, can you see them pretty good right there? That's pretty well all I do my arms, folks. I don't get too carried away. But I'm not gonna add any clothing right now. Because if my head comes out, like I said, his clothes are gonna change. I had an idea, which I may still do it. I had an idea of cutting him some jean shorts in here and be barefooted. But I don't know right yet. We're gonna wait and see. So I want to try to do the do-rag, but I want to leave a lot of hair. So what I'm thinking I want to do, here, let me draw it on this side and I'll flip it around. So I'm going to take this out like that. And then I'm going to take this out kind of like that. And then I'm going to kind of round. All right, so I'm going to kind of I'm going to leave a lot of wood down here, but I'm going to slope that head on the back and the front. And that's going to help that do-rag come out of there. Now, see how that starting to slope that back of that head? Now we're going to slope that front of that head. So then we're going to take this. Y'all don't worry about me, folks. I'll be all right on my injuries and all. If I survived that piano that fell on my head that time, this ain't nothing compared to that. So we'll be all right, folks. I'm just suffering with a sore finger right now and can't carve a whole lot right now. All right, so see how we're going right there? All right, so we're going to round the top of this head and we're going to bring that do-rag around and bring the ties down in the back. So now, all right, so we got our head this way. Now we need to go in this way a little bit. So I'm going to draw a little bit right here. But I don't want to take a whole lot off this side because I'm going to leave a bunch of hair on this side. And I'm going to go back and put my center line back in all the way around my head too, y'all, because we took it out. All right. So then we're going to start doing it that way. All right. So now I'm just going to take that off. See how we did that? All right, now we're gonna come back in here.
Which one?
Tip of that knife down. You got thin. Now all I'm doing right here is just kind of rounding the top of that head up. Now it don't have to be perfectly round. If y'all ever meet the baby brother, or the next to the baby brother in the Wilson Brothers 5, or Wahoo McDaniel, look at his head. It ain't round. It's lopsided. The boy's got a lopsided head. He had a bad habit when he was in there about the 3rd grade where he wanted to run his head into everything he seen. He ran inside of a fire truck one afternoon. That boy, I love him. He's a trip. Alright, so all I'm doing right here is I'm going back and putting my center lines back in. Alright. So I can kind of sort of start seeing the do-rag right there. I don't know about y'all. So I'm going to draw it in here. I'm going to draw it in. We may have to make some adjustments, but I'm going to draw the do-rag in here. Cool. Like I said, we may have to make some adjustments. Alright, so we need to do a knot back here. Alright, bring that around in there like that. Then we need to make some ties that kind of come down. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I do see right here. I need to bring Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, we need to bring that knot out first, alright? And these ties, alright, or the tails. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take get both of them out because I don't know which one's gonna work better, either the small 7 or the big 7. I don't know. So what I do on this, I kind of go around that knot and kind of push in with that number 7. That's a 14 millimeter number 7 Swiss, and just kind of go around it. Like that. And then I take that 7 and I come back to it real gentle. You don't want to come in there hard because you'll take that knot out. And if your pieces don't fall out, go back around it like that. And just kind of go around it